Ladies and gentlemen, it is less than 1 month until college football, and you know what that means. Today we are going to discuss and preview probably the biggest week 1 game / week 0. I wouldn't call it week 0, but it does take place. On the 31st of August, we have the Florida Gators and the Utah Utes going into week 1 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. This is on August 31st, and this will be in Utah. So this game was played last year, and the game was played in Florida, and the Gators would end up winning that game last season as they won by a score of 29-26. It was really close up until the last quarter, like up till the end of the last quarter. And right now, I just want to discuss and preview this game. So last season, when this game was played, you had Richardson with the highest passing yards, you had Richardson with the highest rushes, and then you had Ricky Pearsall for the highest receiving. This year, Anthony Richardson will not be here, and it looks like the starting quarterback will be Graham Mertz, the transfer from Wisconsin. And then on the other side of the ball, on Utah, there is a lot of questions on if Cam Rising, the starting quarterback for the Utah Utes, will be starting, as I believe he tore his ACL last season, and if he's gonna make it, he's gonna just make the cutoff point to be able to start in this game. And if he doesn't play, I don't know who the backup is. Bryson Barnes? I'm guessing it'd probably be Bryson Barnes, given that he's a junior, if Cam Rising does not start. And I mean, just look at the mullet and the mustache game that Cam Rising's got going on. But he is a phenomenal quarterback with a phenomenal team. And on the Gators side, you have Trevor Etienne and Montrell Johnson at the running back core. And I think that they're going to run the ball a lot more than they did in the last game last year. The Gators' highest rusher was Anthony Richardson, where he rushed for 106 yards. But last year, when Utah played, their stats ended up looking with Cam Rising with 216 passing yards and Tavion Thomas with 115 rushing yards, and their highest receiver being Brant Kuithe, I think that's how you pronounce it. Their tight end, also Dalton Kincaid, now in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills. I think that's a great pick for the Bills. But in this game, if you go to ESPN, ESPN's matchup predictor has Utah at a 70.3% according to ESPN Analytics. And then if you look at the Caesar Sportsbook, the line is Utah is the current favorite by 7.5, and the over-under is 48. So it looks like that people are predicting a 28-20 win as of now. Like I said, this will be in Rice-Eccles Stadium with a capacity of what looks like 51,444 spectators. Now, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium for Florida, I believe, is 88,000, and it can fit more. Which I don't understand why saying that's the capacity if you can fit more than your capacity. But the Gators really have an interesting time to go into. The Gators' last 5 games of last season, they defeated Texas A&M, they defeated South Carolina, but then lost 3 straight to Vanderbilt, Florida State, and then Oregon State in the Vegas Bowl. And then if you look at Utah's last 5 games, they defeated Stanford, lost to Oregon in a very close one, absolutely destroyed Colorado, beat the brakes off of USC, and then lost to Penn State in their bowl game. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think the high altitude is really going to be hard for the Gators, just as Utah coming down to Florida with the heat and the mugginess of it all, I feel like was a challenge for them. I do have Utah winning, but I'm going to take the under. I do think I'm going to take the over on the point spread. I think that's what it is. And then on the line, I'm going to take the plus on the Gators. I think Utah will win, but it's going to be a lot more or a lot less than 8. I think it's going to be anywhere from 2 to 5, maybe 6 points. But between these two, like I said, this is on ESPN August 31st. This would be 3 weeks from this Thursday. This is being recorded on August 7th on a Monday. Utah in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 is really starting to fall apart with only like 2, 3, 4 teams really left to want to sit there and be in the Pac-12. And my thing, in my opinion, I think that you should combine the Pac-12 and the Mountain West Conference and put them together. I think if you combine those two conferences into one, I really think that you could have a little bit of something. I don't know if it could be a Power 5 conference. You might have a Power 4 and a Group 6. I don't know. But that's something that they could do with the remaining teams in the Pac-12, since everybody's just deciding to leave Pac-12. For Utah, when Utah played against Penn State, Barnes did play in the bowl game. He only did have 112 passing yards and only 81 rushing yards for Jackson, who was their leading rusher, Mr. Jaquindon Jackson. I do think that this could be really challenging, especially if Cam Rising does not play. We'll have to see. It's basically on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis on seeing how Cam Rising is. Last time I checked, I think he should be okay, but we really don't know. And in this article that I'm reading right here, I don't know how to pronounce that. The Salt Lake Tribune, there we go. This is one of those websites where you have to be a subscriber to look at their article. That's stupid. But basically, all the articles on Cam Rising is asking, will he be ready to play for Florida? Trying to change up his throwing motion after the injury from the torn ACL. His health, everything about that. So I'm gonna do my best, give updates on how he's doing, getting ready for the game against Florida. But I still am gonna take Utah. I think that they have a little bit more talent than Florida. It looks like that. So when Bryson Barnes played last year, he had 430 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 7.5 average per throw, and went 37 for 57, with his longest being 31 yards. Now Cam Rising, when you look at his stats, he has gone. Last year he went 249 for 385, 64.7% completion average, 7.9 average per pass, 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, and his longest being 72 yards. On the ground, he's not really much of a rushing quarterback, but he can get the yards when he needs to. But other than that, I think Cameron Rising should be okay. If he's not, I think the Gators have a chance of winning that game, but I think the game is all going to decide on how Cam Rising is. If he's hurt, if Bryson Barnes plays, I feel like they're going to run the ball a little bit more, and I think Gators defense is really good with a rushing defense. And if Cam Rising is fine for the game, I feel like they'll pass the ball, but still maybe rush a little bit to keep it safe, because he still is questionable. He might not be 100%, but he could be around 90% ready. I think that this is a good game for the Gators to play here, although it is, like I said, in Utah. This is enemy territory. The more I discuss it, the more I think I'm going to pick the Gators, but I think I'm going to stay steady and pick Utah. But I mean, last year I picked Utah to win this game. Now, of course, I didn't do, predictions on my channels last year. I just did, reactions and stuff. But I did pick Utah to win because, that was an unranked Gators team playing against Utah. Now, we will see the rankings, and I will do a reaction for the preseason rankings. They are supposed to come out next week around the 14th, I believe, the AP poll rankings. So I'll let you guys know how that goes when I make a video on that. But other than that, this is an interesting game here. It all relies on Cam Rising and how well he is, and it'll also rely on their rushing game and if they can rush well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, follow my Twitter and Instagram. The names are in the description. Comment what game you would like to see me preview for week 1/week 0, and I'll most likely do a video on that. I'll try and get into the depths of it. I'll try and be more prepared than I was for this one. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.